Good evening. Thanks for joining me. Another one of my Friday night readings. And tonight I wanted to go back to a few pieces that I've been thinking about recently. Um, and I'm sort of going to be going in chronological order. The first couple pieces were written in the early mid 90s. And fortunate for me, they were both published in Drum Voices Review, which was a great literary magazine run by Eugene Redman. And it was, I think they're still going, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Drum Voices Review. This was the fall winter issue of 94, 95. A lot of great people in there. I was really honored to be included. But I wanted to read my Columbus poem since some of the statues coming down include those of Cristobal Colon, and I'm glad to hear it. And haven't been a fan for a long time. And this is sort of my take on him. This is called the Columbus Big Ticket Theory. He was a great sailor who read the seas and the stars and the faces of the Catholic kings. He saw the sparks, the fire that would soon burn the new country of warriors and priests. He knew the time was right, pleaded his case many times before he hit the big time imperial Castilian big money widowmaker lotto empire. The day he set foot on what he thought was India, the Catholic Spanish machine oiled for 700 years with Islam's blood, spit out the Jews, and the terrible roar of the infernal motor and the grinding gears was ringing in his ears. He was a damn good sailor. He wanted his own legend. He wanted to claim great wealth for himself and his heirs, but between mystic visions, barbaric treatment of the, quote, discovered, unquote, people, and profoundly bungled administrative affairs, he lost his chance and died in shame. No cash, no big ticket winner for the admiral defeated by history and by an accidental discovery celebrated and scorned. The leader of the invasion didn't know where he was, didn't really see the people. He was only waiting for them to call his number for the big ticket glory. And Columbus died alone. He was condemned for all eternity to be in a hospital waiting room full of African drums and walls covered with photographs of Tainos having their hands cut off and listening to Tevyev singing, "If I were a rich man." And the other poem that he published, which I was very glad of, is one of my music poems. And this is called Conga. Listen to the conga, sing the beat of a macumba heart pulsing. Listen to the conga, measure the steps of a tecato falling. He says, no bleach for me, boom, 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 boom. Listen for the conga and the words of street sex stain on the brain, playing underneath the TV babble, crying babies, hip hop, fight till you drop. Conga, boom. Boom, boom, conga, open sesame, heart massage, beat, thump, and roll, conga. Loosen her hips, mark me as I follow, listen to the conga. Sway your head, roll on your neck, think with your feet. Conga. And that was in Drum Voices. Thank you, Eugene. And this was another anthology I was very lucky to be in. It's called El Coro. You can see that, El Coro. Came out of the University of Massachusetts Press. It was a chorus of Latino and Latina poetry, edited by Martin Espada. Gracias, Martin. And he published 2 of my poems there. I read one of these already in about a month or 2 ago on my series. So I'm just going to read the short one that was published in that same issue. It's called Jibaros. Jibaros in white straw hats, moving through wild caña that shoots over the tall grass, lead spotted horses past an aluminum recycling plant as we pass them on the road to million-year-old caves cut from ancient rivers in new, old Puerto Rico. And again, I was very honored to be included in this great anthology. A lot of wonderful folks in here. If you get a chance, please check it out. This one I know is still being sold from the University of Massachusetts Press. And 1 or 2 from one of my chapbooks that will be included on that website that is actually taking shape. This one is The Body of My Isla and Other Poems. I put out in 2007. And I'll start off with one haiku that's in this collection. Lamont Steptoe really liked this one. It's called Quagmire. Flag-draped coffins, working-class kids, mission accomplished. And this next one is a longer piece that deals with me sorting out some of my heritage. And it is something I'll be talking about later. On my Abuelo Morales' side, we have Taino blood, who are the indigenous people of Puerto Rico. And I spent a good deal of time researching that story and the people who are right now trying to restore the culture. And I was part of that movement. This is one of the poems I wrote relating to that, where I'm sort of interrogating myself too. And this is called That Was It, The Missing Taino. It is not easy for me to say I am a stranger in this white world, but I am. I awoke one day, rainbow Boricua white boy, floating in a suburb, feeling the need to explode, looking for the right mirror, and none of the mainstream labels seemed to fit. I found the marrow of the matter solely by chance. My white ancestors, Scots, Germans, Irish, helped build this glorious monstrosity, giving us more free time and faster transportation, quicker communication, so we can send words to more people we will never meet and help each other build more walls, more privacy, until we are all completely alone together. They are my people too. The roots of my tree also go back to España, gypsy mother, Roman father of passionate faith and dignity and blinding greed. Conquistadors took Taino African concubines and begat Puerto Rico, reinforcing the notion that slavery begins at home, and love, rage, suppression, and servitude beget farmers who lived in music in the heat of tropical, sunny, colonial slavery with a twist. They are my family as well. And I walk among these cousins apart and watching, a visitor in somebody else's museum. Not to say there were no connections, there are many, many of great strength. No, nothing so simple as all that. I often felt I was inside a cave, at home in subways, alleys, basements, dark forests. None of this had a name until the family secret was accidentally released. I always wanted stories, impossibly curious 12-year-old always wanting family stories, quizzed my grandparents, uncles, cousins, and my beleaguered parents, until one day my mother shot a laser through the fog. Well, hijo, my beloved mother conceded. Yes, hijo. Your abuelo's family had Taino blood, but it's so far back, so far away. The Tainos are extinct, mijo. Our family is from Spain. That was it. That made sense. All of a sudden, it had a name. I had a name. Taino. Taino, I would mutter to myself, and it remained my secret. I knew what was in the books. The word in the books was extinct. Dead of disease and genocide, and I knew all that. But Taino didn't feel dead to me. Taino ancestors explained my love for the earth in a way that cannot be translated into English or Spanish. These epiphanies came in waves, knocked me out of linear language expression, and stayed just below the surface. Then the waves came again, many years later. I rode in a truck, in a train, in a subway, emerged into the light, out of the cave into East Harlem, Barrio, Fifth Avenue, the poorer end of Museum Row, and in El Museo del Barrio, Taino celebration, elation to see dancers and photos, sacred objects and Taino faces. It was uplifting and confusing, causing outrageous battle with my linear mind, telling me, look at your Irish frame and your Celtic name, and look in the mirror, look in the mirror. And I caught my reflection in the glass of a case surrounding a semit, and I saw myself smiling. And I saw myself smiling. This is it. Taino, you make sense. This is my secret. No longer this is the missing piece of my puzzle. And I am complete. I am complete. Thank you. And stay tuned. More poems coming, and eventually, as we emerge from this pandemic situation, I'm hoping to do some poetry and music again and somehow bring it here. So thanks again. Feliz Viernes.